Look, this stuff might put you to sleep because it's so boring, but it makes me upwards of $1,000 a day at 22. Now, since it's probably the first time you and I meet, why should you listen to me? My name is Fred, and I'm a 22-year-old entrepreneur from a lower middle-class background. I went from only having $400 to my name over 5 years ago to making upwards of $1,000 a day at 21, selling services and consulting online. But the truth is, it took me 10 years to start seeing any success online. I literally tried everything you can think of, all the way from selling candies in the neighborhood to growing Instagram team pages and later on doing dropshipping with paid ads when I was still a broke high school student. The first thing you need to understand if you want to make a lot of money and be financially free is that you need to solve painful problems for people. Whenever you buy something, whether you realize it or not, you're actually buying a solution to a problem. If you go to the grocery store and you buy some food, you solve the problem of having to feed yourself to stay alive. If you go to the doctor because you're sick or you need a surgery, you solve a problem that's related to your health, to your well-being. Even when you buy clothes online, you solve a problem too. If you buy a Gucci t-shirt, let's say, you're essentially buying social status. So people have a problem, they don't feel loved, valued, so they buy social status to fix that problem. So everything that can be sold solves a problem. And sometimes the thing that you're selling can solve more than one problem. And the more painful and urgent the problem that you solve is, the more money you'll be able to charge for it because it's more valuable. The thing is, in order to successfully sign customers, you need to give them exactly what they want. I personally learned from many successful mentors, and what they all had in common is that they never made any money. They kept struggling for months, even for years, because they were trying to sell something that they thought people wanted, when in reality, people wanted something completely different. If you do that, it's kind of like trying to sell meat to vegans. That's not exactly going to work, but it doesn't mean that nobody wants meat. You're just not selling it to the right people. Zig Ziglar said, if you can give others what they want, you will have anything you want. Now, let's say you have no clue what to sell. Here are a few examples of painful and urgent problems that you could solve for people. You could help somebody to overcome an addiction that's ruining their lives. As we speak, some people make 6-7 figures helping people to overcome a gambling, drinking, or even a porn addiction. So if you've struggled with one of these things yourself in the past, you were able to overcome that addiction, you could help others to do the same. Not only would you be solving a painful problem, but you could genuinely change somebody's life. Now, to give you another example, you could offer lead generation services for entrepreneurs or video editing. Think about this. If you could make a business an extra $20,000 per month, what makes you think they wouldn't be willing to pay you $2,000 per month for it? And to give you yet another example, I started back in 2022, and at first I was doing done-for-you lead generation services for entrepreneurs. So I was essentially booking meetings for other people because I figured if I needed to learn to do it for myself to make my business successful, I might as well leverage that skill and do it for others as well. That way I don't have to learn two skills, and that's how I did it. If you'd like to see how I can help you to start or grow your business, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description. Or if you're ready to talk business, you can directly book a call with me or my team and we'll see if we can help you. Now, when you have a painful problem that you solve for people, the question now becomes, how do we get the attention of those people? First, you need to understand there are free ways to do that and paid ways to do that. If you're just getting started, I highly recommend you forget about paid ads for now. Why? Because we want you to start getting customers organically for free so that you can test your offer. Remember, if you try to sell something to people which they don't want, you're not going to make a single penny. Now, if it's a good offer, you'll be able to get customers, or at the very least, people will book meetings with you because that shows they're interested in hearing more about what you have to say. And then, once you start making some money consistently with your business, you can utilize paid ads to add yet another way of getting customers to your funnel, to your business. And the way that you can get customers for free is either by reaching out to potential customers directly, you can do that manually, or by leveraging automations and certain softwares, or by creating free valuable content for your ideal customers on social media. And the third way to do that is by leveraging platforms like Upwork or Fiverr, because there's already traffic going on that website. Now, keep in mind that if you make content, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to show your face and build a personal brand. Even though if you're going to do that, I highly suggest you do it. Why? Because it's easier to build trust with your prospects when they can see a human face and see a human being in front of the camera. Now, I get pitched in my DMs and emails every single day, and so does every other business owner in the world. So if you really want to stand out, if you're sending out cold DMs, cold emails, you really need to have a killer offer. For instance, something that I get a lot is people wanting to work for me as video editors, which makes sense because I make a lot of content. But a lot of these people, they focus on the service they can provide instead of focusing on the outcome that I would potentially want. Understand this. People don't buy your services, they buy a result, an outcome. If you help people to overcome an addiction, they don't pay you for coaching calls or Q&A calls, they don't care about that. That's a commodity. You could never charge more than $50 for it. The only only thing that matters to these people is that you help them to overcome the addiction that's ruining their lives. So when you're making an offer to someone, always focus on what it can do for them as opposed to focusing on the deliverables of the service. And getting the attention of your ideal customers is essential. In fact, it's the most crucial part of the process. A lot of people actually sell a good offer, but because not enough people know about it anyway, they're not signing customers. But so they're going to think that their offer must be bad, when in reality, that's not it. You're just not showing your offer to enough people every day, and that's what's keeping you broke. And you could take a super good salesman, let's say Jordan Belfort, but if he gets no leads, nobody to speak to, he's not going to close anyone. He's going to be broke. Even though the guy like literally scammed so many people out of so much money, so he knows how to sell. Now let's say you're able to get the attention of your potential customers. What comes after that? The next part is sales. So take it from me, I've tried every possible method to sell services and also products online. And here is what works the best. You can typically sell in two different ways. You can either utilize video, like video sales letters, so they're typically videos between 5 minutes up to 30 minutes, and then you make an offer, people can click on a button, they get redirected to a page where they can enter their details and buy the product. Or you can also do webinars, which are typically videos, but they're like over 1 hour long, and then, just like with the VSL, people can click on a button, enter their card details and buy. Or, the other way to sell services or products is to hop on a call with your potential customers. And after trying all of these things and making money with all of these methods, I can tell you for a fact, hopping on a sales meeting with your potential customer is always more powerful. Now, if you had a crazy budget for ads, or you had millions of followers or huge audience to market your products to, you could use a VSL or a webinar, for sure. But if this isn't you, you're not famous, you don't have thousands of dollars to invest per day on ads, you need to start leveraging sales meetings, because it converts far better. Why? Because you get to ask people questions. You get to really understand their current situation, their pains, their problems, what they want, and it also builds a lot more trust with your prospects. They get to hear your voice, they get to interact with you one-on-one directly. Now, a sales page can typically convert 1% of people into buyers, whereas with sales meetings, typically for beginners, the average closing rate is going to be 15% up to 20%. So as you can see, 1% compared to 15 to 20%, that's a huge difference. Now, in order to get good at sales, the key is learning and practice. I provide my students a step-by-step framework that they can follow to turn a complete stranger into a paying customer. So literally any beginner can do it. And the more booked calls you get in your calendar, the more you'll be able to practice your sales skills and to get better at it. Now, on top of that, I suggest you start reading books on sales, on human psychology, even on persuasion. You can start reading books like Spin Selling or Never Split the Difference. Sometimes people ask me, if I had to pick something, what's the one thing that allowed me to make upwards of $1,000 a day at 21? And my answer is this: doing more of what works, less of what doesn't. And while it might seem obvious at first, I've found that most people don't actually do that. Why? Because oftentimes, people are so emotionally invested in the things they're doing that they can't see clearly. And on top of that, they don't have somebody who's external to their situation to take a look at what they're doing and tell them if they're making mistakes. This is why having a mentor to guide you, to give you a proven step-by-step process to follow, to help you to think and to see things in a different way, is probably the best thing you can do to actually start getting results. I'm not going to take credit for any of the success I've been able to achieve, because it's only thanks to other people. I learned the right thing from other people. 5 years ago, I didn't know how to book meetings. I didn't know how to make decent YouTube videos. I didn't know how to sell. I had none of those skills. I only learned them from successful people who were doing those things. I didn't invent them. In business, you'll need to constantly make changes and to iterate what you're doing. Now, if something isn't broken, don't try to fix it, because by doing this, you might break things that are working. So I recommend sticking to a proven process 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time, you can try new hypotheses. Now, to give you an example of what this looks like in practice, if you take a look at the kind of videos I make on my channel, I often remake similar topics of videos. Why? Because if a video is getting more views than my channel average, it means people are interested in that specific piece of content. So why not make more of it and give people exactly what they want? So look, you need to make a choice. You can keep watching YouTube videos on how to make more money, but that won't make you more money. Or if you're committed to becoming financially free, to starting or growing your business, you can check out the free resources I will leave in the description. Or if you're ready to talk business, you can directly book a free call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you. All the links will be in the description. That being said, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together, let's blow up this YouTube channel and empower ambitious people across the globe to become financially free.